Welcome back to the garage, guys. Got up this morning when I got my freaking bottle filled up for the welder. This is gonna be a different video. I gotta get this put back on there and get this thing out of my way because we're not gonna be welding today. Today, what we're doing is gonna be finalizing all this freaking rat's nest. Yeah, my goal for today is to get that wiring finished. I need to finish all that. I want to get coolant inside of the radiator. We got the radiator hoses and all that stuff. I want to top this thing off, but I want to get it to a point to where this thing, like, I can start it up and actually, you know, burp it. You know, I got to get all the air out of this system, open up my thermostat and whatnot. Only problem with that is the heater lines are still open, and I don't have any hose for that. I ain't got no hose, man. Man, you guys see that clip of the truck I've been putting in the intro of the videos, the last couple of videos? Dude, that just has me like, whew, god dang, I gotta get this thing freaking done, man. I miss my truck so freaking bad. Oh, anyhow, what did I come out here for? Oh yeah, these are the hoses that were on it. I might be able to use these for look at the freaking purple spray paint, bro. Oh my god. Oh my freaking god. Well, I mean, I could clean those up and that'll save me from having to go to the store like right now. But then again, like, because I want to put new hoses on there. I don't know if these are these in good shape? I mean, it feels kind of stiff. Even though it's sitting out there in the sun, you'd think these things would be like rubbery. But no, that boy stands straight up. I don't know, I guess these are all right. They don't feel like weak, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, I'll clean them up and see how I feel. I don't feel like going to the damn auto parts store. Either way, let's get to work, man. I'm gonna start off. I gotta get these temporary wires that we had ran over to the battery out of my way. I wanna get the headlight harness ran. Nah, let me move some stuff and I'll get back with you. All right, so I was gonna start with the headlight harness and stuff, but you know what? To be honest with you guys, that's the easy part. I figured, you know what? Let's tackle some of this harder shit. I have a clip right here that I did not remove that comes out of this bulkhead little block right here. In the last video, we removed a bunch of shit. So the one clip that comes out of there that I didn't remove is for our windshield wipers. So what I'm gonna do is actually pass that underneath the brake booster where all the rest of my wires are going, and then it's gonna pop up right here and plug in there. But I figured I would also run the power wires. So this is my 12-volt in that supplies all the power to that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna run that with it. So then it'll come up over here. I have to get it past that damn coil pack. There's not much room. So it'll come up over here, and I figured I could run this 12-volt wire with the rest of my wiring harness that's tucked back in there. It'll come down right here, and then I'm just gonna plug it straight into the alternator, dude, because we gotta run a wire from this alternator stud. It's gotta go down with the rest of the harness. It's gonna cross over that little plastic bracket down there. It's in the front of the oil pan, and then come up to the battery. So I still need to run that. I figured I'll run that up here and I'll connect them both into one connector. So screw onto the alternator there. Then the power that's going to my fuse box is just jumping from right here at the alternator. That's how like most the Hondas and stuff are, you know what I'm saying? They all just have like a wire comes from no, hold on, does it? No, it don't.
The alternator runs to the fuse box.
Oh, yeah, the alternator runs to the fuse box, and then out of the fuse box, it goes to the battery. Yeah. Well, so, I mean, that's basically the same, just without a fuse in between it, you know?
Yeah, well, typically that's just like...
a safety thing. We don't need that shit.
On LS's, they literally go straight from alternator straight to a little block. Like on my truck, goes to a block that literally is just connected.
Like on the Suburban.
Yeah, just
that has that little red door on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's literally all connected the same. So it'll be fine if you connect it like that.
Thank you for the advice there, Rughead. I appreciate you, dog.
Like, you know, just that guy.
You're just that guy, huh? Don't make me tell them some of your horror stories, okay?
Hey, bro, I don't think that.
You'll leave it out.
You want me to tell you. I mean, I don't think you want me to tell them some of your horror stories.
Yeah, but that's not car related, you douchebag.
Aw, damn.
That's personal. Bro, I'm over here putting the camera away and I completely forgot the whole reason why I was even saying this. So I want to put some of my fancy loom on this. But obviously we have a big old friggin' connector right there that I can't get my fancy loom over. So we're going to actually try to depin this and not put the wires back in incorrectly. Actually, right there. Take a picture. Make sure we put them back in the right spot. So I'm going to try to depin this connector so we can get the loom over. Up until this point, and then I'll figure it out. That wire loom gets confusing because this is gonna have to be its own separate piece of loom that's got to come back to here. This is gonna have to be a separate piece of loom that comes back to here, and then you'll have a loom over this bundle that's got to overlap over those two, and then you put a piece of shrink wrap to hold it all together. Yeah, it's a whole ass process, bro. Get out of here. This guy pulls his sleeves up. Boy, you need to get some sun, dog. You're whiter than me.
I know, right?
You're glowing, homie. I mean, dude, I swear to God, if I can find something in the editor where I could just make you glowing.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be like, look at this boy. All right, so there's that section all the way up to the fuse box. It is loomed, and then it splits off right there for the windshield wipers. And then this is the part that's gonna continue and run next to the fuel rail, and this is going to run up to the alternator, in which I'm going to route this right now, and then we'll pick back up here, and then we have to continue running our alternator wire over to the battery. Windshield wipers is ran, and then the power wire is tucked in there with the rest of the wires, and it comes out right here. And I have jumped the wire to go to the battery, and which is this. I have plenty enough length there. A lot of this is going to get cut off. It's not going to have to be that long, but I need to guide it down and then across that brace that's in front of the oil pan down there, and then it's going to come up right here and connect to the battery. And then I have them all connected right here. Everything is soldered, shrink wrapped, and crimped, and as strong as I could possibly be inside of there, and it's all loomed up nice. So this will tuck down inside of here and just hook to the alternator right there, and then I'll probably put some zip ties on some stuff here and there just to make sure nothing can move around. Yes sir, except for the fact that I'm completely out of zip ties. Man, it's always something, bro. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that connected and then run this now over to the battery. All right, so I've gotten all of that routed. The cable that comes over here to the battery, I don't have it actually ran up in here completely. I need to do something with these battery cables. They're like, both of them are probably a foot too freaking long, man. I don't want to cut them because I like the fact that they have these nice, the factory crimped ends on them. I wish I had the tools for actually like doing crimps like that, but I do need to cut a good 12 inches or so off of them. Anyhow, I got the ECU back in. I've got all my grounds. I got my power. I got ignition power and the continuous 12 volt. All that stuff is hooked up. But again, I am doing it temporary, but it's more of like a permanent temporary. So as in like we could drive on it like this. I have it all wire nutted. Calm down, don't be tripping out. This is not permanent, this is temporary. How many times do I have to say it, man? I swear to God if I see it in the comment. Can you believe this guy's using wire nuts? I said it's temporary, man. Anyhow, it was doing some weird stuff as I was hooking it up. I think it's just because I didn't have a ground hooked up. Long story short, I don't want to finalize all of that as far as like putting the loom on it and making everything look nice just to end up having a problem and having to tear it apart. So I want to kind of make sure that everything is working and I'm not gonna have to undo anything or do any kind of troubleshooting, you know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be better for me to just kind of leave it like this so that I'm capable of coming back and moving some stuff around if I need to, as we are, you know, because I gotta make sure all my lights are working. I gotta, like, right now I have the power and everything hooked up, or for whatever reason my windows won't roll down. This has power windows, so I need to look into that. We still need to, who knows, I might hook this all up and they might start working. I don't know. Sometimes stuff is weird like that. So I still have the entire headlight harness here. That's what I'm gonna do next. This has to come up here and plug into that bulkhead with the other one, but I need to get this tucked inside of the fender. That's where it was factory. And then all of this bundle is gonna come down. It plugs into the headlight and it goes down here to our blinkers. And then I need to undo my radiator up here because there is a gap on top of the condenser. There's a gap, and I want to run this length of wire that jumps from the driver's side over to the passenger side. I want to run that in there so it's hidden. And then all of this is all the plugs and everything for the passenger side, headlight, blinkers, etc. And there's grounds I need to hook up. That's my next mission, is to get that all finished up. Well, that's not going to work because this harness is not long enough to go that direction. I'm going to have to cross over on the bottom somewhere. You know what? I think, now that I think about it, I think that's where it was. I think it crossed over down there on the bottom. Well, either way, that's what it's going to have to do because it ain't going to freaking fit this way, and I'm not extending more wires. Alright, so quick update, got all the headlight stuff done. Grab my phone as a flashlight here, so all the headlight wiring is done down there, and there's the ground for this side, and then the harness runs inside the fender and goes all the way up to the fuse block right there. None of this is pretty right now, but I've already told you guys, it's not going to stay like this. I want to make sure that everything is good and it's working before I really finalize that stuff. So the harness wouldn't fit inside of there. It wasn't long enough, so I actually ended up having to run it on the bottom, so it's kind of like behind the bumper. I need to go get some zip ties so I can kind of zip tie some stuff, make sure it's not going to move around. But the passenger side is right here, then boom, grounded right there, and then I ran a ground stud on this side and grounded that right there. For whatever reason, this side has two grounds. That side only had one. So I'm going to pop the battery back in here, but I'm going to actually use the side post battery this time. So I want to actually hook these things up, but dude, look how freaking long this sumbitch is. That's my positive. So this is from the Tahoe. And what I think I'm going to do is actually just cut it right here and use this piece to connect to the battery. I checked and made sure that the hole on this was big enough for that side post bolt to go through, and it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and freaking yeet that off right there. That'll eliminate like freaking 2.5 feet, bro. The ground isn't nearly as bad as the positive, so I'm not too worried about that. Not to mention the ground comes all the way over here, so it's actually kind of perfect length. Just this thing, this was connected to the battery with the vice grip, and this side was touching the damn ground, bro. Anyhow, we're getting pretty close to the point to where I'm gonna need to run to an auto parts store, because I'm gonna need to go get some hoses, freaking zip ties, man. It sucks when you ain't got no zip ties. Yeet. Baby, come back to me. I gotta go clean that damn thing anyhow. Eesh. right, I've got my shopping list. About to hit the road. I gotta go pick up a bunch of hose, man. So these are both my heater core lines. I need 30 inches, 2.5 feet, both of these guys. And then I need 2.5 feet of this. This is going to be the hose that is gonna run from the back of the intake manifold over to my brake booster. So I need 2.5 feet of that because I don't want to get it too short. And then this one, what was this one for? Oh, my overflow. So my overflow has to go way the hell over there to way over here. Yeah, so I need 5 foot of that. Anyhow, I'm gonna go hit the O'Reilly's. What's up, puppers? What's up, puppers? What's going on, dude? Are you enjoying this heat out here? Alright, so we got all the freaking hose around here, boy. Got everything I needed. Got my heater core lines, got my, heater core. Yeah, heater core. This is gonna be the line that goes from the brake master, and then this is my overflow. It's gotta go from one side of the engine bay all the way to the other. And I'll never do this again, but I got some freaking zip ties from O'Reilly's. Bro, shout out to Harbor Freight on zip ties, man. For the same amount of zip ties, I probably would have spent like $5 at Harbor Freight. That was 20. Got all my hose clamps. Just keep your hose in line, bro. Don't let them wander off, you know? Alright, I really was trying to ignore it, but I just can't, bro. These tails that stick off of these, because these are a little bit on the big side. The tails that stick off the end of this whenever you start tightening this down, that drives me freaking nuts. So I have to, I got them marked. Now I'm gonna come back and actually cut the excess off. I gotta tighten it a little bit to expose my mark. You see, I just marked it with a Sharpie right there. And I'm just gonna cut these damn tails off so I don't have that shit looking ugly as hell. So now I gotta actually buzz that edge down around the corner so it's not all like freaking little razor blades inside of the engine bay just waiting to catch your ass one day. Beautiful, man. 15 more. Alright, so I have most of the hose. No, hold on, not most of the hoses. Alright, so I got the heater hoses ran, which came out really clean. Got my hose clamps all cut nice and clean and doled out so they're not gonna cut me. Now, oh, I also cleaned up the battery cables, man. Look at how much better that looks. So I was able to just kind of run them straight and like loop the excess underneath the battery tray to where it's not really visible, and even if you can see it, it doesn't look bad. It's got a nice clean little swoop to it, you know. Then it comes up right here, and my negative and positive hookup, I got that one connected as well. This is the one that's running over to the alternator. Set our freaking light stick down here so y'all can see. So yeah, there's my wiring comes down and it goes across this factory little block off, little wire holder. All nice and clean, zip tied in there. I got multiple zip ties. So, and then it comes out right here. This is that alternator wire where it swoops up and comes in contact with the rest of the battery cables. And everything is zip tied, nice and tight. Well, it's got some play, so if the engine moves, like it's not going to be pulling on them, but it's nice and tight and out of the way. And then swoops up there to the battery. Dude, came out really freaking clean, man. I really dig it. All right, so next I need to get this vacuum line that's gonna run over here to the brake booster. I have a piece of tape on it right now because it was a huge vacuum leak. This is what actually got the idle to come down, obviously. All right, that's done back in there. So I have it just kind of swooping down, and then it comes around and then just goes straight to the brake booster right there. I put a hose clamp on both sides, even though like once you slide those things on, they're like impossible to get back off. But having a hose clamp on there just guarantees I'm not gonna be on the road and all of a sudden be like, yo, where's my brakes at, man? So that leaves one hose, and that is the overflow. We have to go from the radiator here all the way over there. So right whenever I got back from the auto parts store, I went and zip tied this hose out here on my fence so it can kind of straighten out, because it was like all coiled up, you know. So this thing has spent the last hour and a half in the sun, so it should be nice and straight now. How do you feel now, bitch? You gonna talk? Out here torching my hose. That is a whole hell of a lot better than what it was. It was coiled up tight, bro. Anyhow, since we weren't able to utilize that little gap that I have on top of the condenser inside of there for our headlight harness, it wouldn't fit. So now what I'm gonna try to do is actually guide that hose through there. I figured that would be nice and clean if it's just sitting on the top in there. And then it just kind of swoops out and connects to the radiator here. And then it can come out this side, just swoop over and connect to our overflow. The hard part's gonna be trying to get it through there without taking this all apart again. I want to take all these damn bolts out again. Probably gonna end up having to. There we go, kinda. Try this side. Oh yeah, there we go. Gotta kind of twist it as it's going in there. Oh, I seen it! Hell freaking yeah. Go ahead and put our hose clamp on here, slide this portion onto the radiator. Nice. And then we'll pull all the slack over to this side. It's gonna be a tight fit on this one. So, lube her up. Once again, once I get this damn thing on, I doubt it's gonna need a hose clamp, but we're gonna do it anyway. All right, cooling system is officially done, except for, well, two things. I was gonna say one thing, but really two things. We gotta fill it up with coolant. But the steam port is actually running up to the throttle body here, and then it's coming out of the throttle body and it's going nowhere, because I believe that this had a hose that came over and went to the expansion tank on the Tahoe. We're gonna be eliminating that. Thank you to Roger Granville, the same guy who sent the 120 millimeter throttle body, which we will be getting to that here pretty soon. Sent a steam port. So this is a basically a delete. Like, this just jumps from one to the other. So it's gonna replace this hard line and that fitting that screws onto the top of the head. So that goes from one head over to the other head, but it's also got this piece that comes up that actually runs through the throttle body, which we're wanting to delete that. Hey Bravus, it's Roger Granville. You're going to need these. This is a throttle body coolant line bypass kit. The hose goes in the front and the little block offs go in the rear. You have to remove your intake manifold from Roger Granville. Shout out to Roger once again, bro. I appreciate you, man. I don't think that I'm gonna need to even do the rear ones, because like I believe Braven's engine has the steam port where it goes from this side to this side, and then it's got a hose that jumps over to the back. The back of mine, which I was confused about, like I don't understand why, but it basically just has a block off on both sides. Like, it doesn't have a line that jumps over, it doesn't have a line that goes over to it. It has no lines at all coming off. So my only problem is the front right here. I just need to basically pop those off and pop this system on. So bang bang. So those are the rear block off. So those ones right there will go on the rear, which I'm not going to need to do that because my rears don't go anywhere. Then these will go on the front, and it has a spot to hook this line to just jump from one side to the other, and that's it. That's all that we need. But before I actually get started on that, I want to try to get something done with my radiator fans as well. So coming underneath, here's our pigtails to the fans, and what I'm going to do is actually run this pigtail down to a strap that's going to connect to that bolt, and then I'm going to run that pigtail down to a strap that's going to connect to this bolt, so that way we can just keep the wires nice and tight and away from that engine. I'm also going to get up in here and put a zip tie around the wiring going through the grill of the fan. Really, it's not going to help having the cooling system finished if we don't have radiator fans to keep it cool whenever we're just sitting at idle. So I do have a couple of relays here that I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run one relay per fan, and I need to get all my wiring shit back out. I'm just gonna kind of zoom through this really quick. It's currently 4th of July. I'm trying to get this thing all dialed in to where hopefully we can do a freaking 4th of July burnout, bro. That's the goal. Alright, I got those wires zip tied to the fan grill up there, and then I put a strap right here for it to run through, and then the wiring comes over and I have it strapped right here, and then I'm gonna actually run the wiring for the fans inside of this loom. This is the headlight harness. Pigtail coming out to the first fan, and it runs over into the headlight harness. I have a strap right here. Continues, it goes through this factory clip that is pushed in, so the whole harness is attached right there, and then it runs over, and I have another strap right here, and then the second pigtail goes out to the second fan, and then it continues inside of the headlight loom, and then it comes out of the headlight loom right down there where I couldn't freaking reach it anymore. All right, but I will be putting some of our loom on this before I do the relays and everything, and making sure that there ain't just wires against metal down there. But yeah, it's all ran really clean. It's all strapped up so nothing can drag or move, and then like I said, the relays will go here. But that's all I'm gonna do for today, is just get my pigtail up here. Now moving on, we got to put this steam port on, so I need to pop these two number 10s off and disconnect this hose from the throttle body because we don't need that anymore. So that is the old steam port that ran to the throttle body, and this is the new setup that eliminates that hose that goes to the throttle body. Good Lord, it is freaking hot as hell out here. We got the fans done, we got the steam port done, got the radiator hoses done. That was in the last video. Got the heater core hoses done, got the vacuum line done that goes to the brake booster, got the overflow line done. Oh, did I show you guys? I put some of those straps on that as well, so it comes out from above the condenser and strapped down right there, and then it runs down to our overflow, and then over here same thing, it loops around, and I have a strap right there, and then it goes into the radiator, and they both have hose clamps on them. I showed you guys the wiring down there for the fuel pump, and this we're gonna finish up later, but we can at least just plug it into power and have our fans running for now. Oh man, dude, I think we're ready. Oh, the power steering line. So I did end up running into a problem whenever I got the wheel wells on. This that high pressure line was like hardcore hitting the wheel well, so I tried to turn it a little bit, but I tried to do it on the steering box side, in which it was gonna work, but that just put a lot, like a constant pressure on that fitting. You guys know we have an AN adapter fitting that's screwed into the steering box. The way that I had the line was I was turning it in the left direction and then tightening the line, but that pressure of the line trying to pull this way actually loosened that adapter fitting that I have on the steering box. So what I did was I got that tight, and I put the line back just going straight off of it like it was before, and then I adjusted this line. I just pulled it up some and then retightened it. Now it's happy, bro. It sits against the wheel well slightly, but there's no pressure on it. I feel pretty confident with it the way that it is now, but for the most part I think we're ready, bro, to go ahead and start filling up this damn cooling system. That front end's gonna have some travel, boy. Hell yeah. I need to actually check those brake lines and make sure that they're gonna be safe before I go popping wheelies on this thing, you know what I mean? Popping our Alloyworks radiator cap off for the first time, which by the way, you guys can save money if you guys need anything radiator related. Alloyworks' website. They are giving the DBFam a percentage off. All that information will be in the description down below. I was worried I wasn't gonna have a fitting that would actually fit on this radiator for my gravity feeder or whatever the hell you call this thing. Is that the setup? Nope, that's not the setup. That's not the setup, man. How about this one? Hell no. How about this one? Oh, maybe. No, that one don't fit either. I think this one is it. I think this first one I tried is actually it. I just gotta muscle it on there a little more. There she is, and got my little elbow. Oink. But whenever you're using the elbow, you gotta keep an eye on this. It likes to do this. Dump all over the place. Alright, so I got some full strength antifreeze. As you know, it's supposed to do 50-50 water, and I got some distilled water. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour half of this in there, then pour some water in it. What the fuck is that? Bro, what the fuck is that? Bro, what is that nipple right there for? Because whatever that is, it's just puking water out, bro. It goes straight into the can right there, straight into the radiator. So my fluid got up to that point and it just started shooting all over the damn place, pouring out. Well, I don't know what the hell that thing is, but that's the best I'm gonna be able to do for right now. I got a hose clamp on it with a hose, put a bolt in there, and I soaked it with that liquid like sealer stuff. So hopefully that thing holds. All right, back to what we were doing. Alright, well, I'll tell you right now, anytime you have a new cooling system that you are filling up for the first time, my recommendation would be to just fill that sumbitch up with tap water and check for leaks and everything, and then probably drain it and then put your correct, you know, like coolant and all that stuff inside of it, because I have just about completely wasted all of my distilled water and my my antifreeze, because I just keep filling this thing up with tap water, and I'm trying to find where this is coming from, bro. I just know it's coming from back there, and I cannot put eyes on where it's coming from at all, dude. The only place that I can see it flowing is it's running down the back of the block right next to the head, and it's like flowing off of that and then just dumping everywhere, but it's coming from above that. Like, I can't see anything, bro. Like, I have tried every single angle. I have had this thing jacked up from underneath it, getting coolant poured and rained on me. I've tried everything. Now, I will say that I can very clearly see the steam ports, both steam ports on the back, and they have nothing running to them, and they're not wet, they're not leaking. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm at a freaking loss. I feel like I'm gonna have to take the intake manifold off in order to be able to see back there a little better. One thing I'll say is whenever Braven and I traded intake manifolds, low key, I didn't really want to trade intake manifolds. I know he needed my throttle body and he needed the non-return style fuel rails, but I wanted to just trade throttle bodies and trade like fuel rails with the fuel line. I woke up in the morning, bro, and I come outside and he already had both intake manifolds off the damn trucks, bro, and was switching them over. I wanted to keep my manifold because mine was, for one, a lot cleaner, and for two, when he switched them over, he took my injectors. You know what I'm saying? Like, my engine came out of a 2004. I don't know them well enough to tell you what injectors they are. I just know that I had the newer style injectors and the better injectors, in which he took, and he has them on his truck now, so I'm just like, whatever. But I kind of expressed with him that I was upset about that because I didn't want him taking my intake manifold off without me there, because I wanted to pull it off if that's what we were gonna do, because I need to learn this stuff. Whenever I take things apart, I like to pay very close attention to how they come apart so I know how to put them back together. So I don't know if you guys remember back in those videos, there was this hose right here that came off of the throttle body. So that is running through the steam port. The steam port went through the throttle body and it came out right here. And this hose was going up, but it was underneath the cover, was going up like this under the cover and going to the back, in which in the comments a bunch of people were telling me that no, this didn't go this way, that this went this way and connected to the radiator, in which, I don't know if you see this. I mean, I understand a Tahoe is a much bigger engine compartment, but this didn't connect to the radiator, bro. This went back here and it connected to something back there, in which Braven couldn't remember, or honestly he says that it wasn't connected to anything, but it had to have been connected to something. Whatever it is, I feel like whatever this hose runs to back here is what is leaking. But if you look at this, like that is ending right at the firewall. So dude, I can't find freaking anything, man. Anyhow, I'm gonna end the video here. I'm not gonna be able to make my goal, bro. Like I was wanting to get a freaking 4th of July burnout, dude. And right now it's currently 4th of July. It's like 5 o'clock and I haven't even started editing this video. I was supposed to have all this done by like 11 o'clock this morning, and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know if you heard, my phone is blowing up because I'm supposed to be over, you know, and we're having a barbecue and stuff over at Gabby's house, and I'm sure everybody's waiting on me, and I'm over here trying to get this done. Anyhow, this most certainly cost me my 4th of July burnout, unfortunately. All my coolant has now ran and disappeared. Anyhow, guys, on the bright side, we made a lot of progress today. A lot of progress. Got a lot of stuff finalized. And yeah, we'll get past this. It's just one of those things. This is the kind of stuff you run into. And I don't have the time today to diagnose it and get it figured out. So, but I do have time tomorrow, in which I'll see you guys then. Peace.